3969.
Right, and the office number is still 504-368-0123, but that goes through another person. I've got John David Graham is now
Mr.
picking those up.
Oh man, he's coming up in the world.
Well, I got a couple of great young guys helping me out, and I'm really, really thankful for that. When I see the economy being what it is, and with these young people, some of them are out, and there's some incredible talent out there, and that's what I feel really blessed to have these guys helping me out.
I just wanted to say you really helped me out a great deal.
Well, Alice, I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, I've been thinking about you. I'm glad you called because and I do have some things I'd like to talk to you about after the show, if you don't mind giving me a ring.
I'll give you a ring. Let me make sure we'll call you 782-3969.
That's right. Thank you, Alice.
Okay, baby.
All right,
bye-bye. Later.
All right, bye.
Okay, Russell, I want to change the subject a little bit if possible. We've been seeing more and more in the news lately about the amount of time that some judges are spending in the courtroom. And, now the feds are looking at it and they're talking about eliminating some of the judge seats in the city. In your opinion, which types of courts do the judges work the hardest in? Like, for instance, I know in traffic court you see the same judge there, all the time, and they work a long schedule. I mean, is it that way in civil court, personal injury? In your opinion, which judges have the hardest caseload and put in the most time?
That's an interesting question. I think the largest dockets by numbers of people would definitely be the judges handling the traffic docket. They've got hundreds of people on their docket every day. Correct. Ironically, though, if you go into traffic court, a lot of that gets handled by the city attorney or the district attorney, depending on which court you're in. In other words, they have large staffs of court personnel. They go through, they want to make deals, and they want to get the docket cleared up. So I don't know what those judges are doing, but I think the traffic court judges, do more in a way of like management than, say, trial type work. I think all these judges are working pretty hard, but the judges that I see that do a lot of work, for instance, like the administrative law judges,
right?
They're holding hearings like when people get their license suspended for DWI, they go to an administrative law judge. These guys, they're busy. I mean, they got trials, taking evidence, coming to decisions, writing a decision, boom, 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 one after the other.
And they have to work according to their caseload no matter what.
Right, exactly. And then you've got, there's the elected judges. They're handling, sometimes criminal or civil matters. Those guys, again, they're pretty busy, either in court or behind the scenes, having conferences with attorneys. The judges, and I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard if you want to be a judge, but you don't, really want to be under a whole lot of pressure and work really hard. I've heard the best judge job to get is the appellate court.
Okay.
Because from what I understand, and this is all hearsay, but is that the appellate court judges, they can basically do a lot of work at home. A lot of times it's not, that busy on appeals compared to the sort of everyday law that the district court judges and administrative law judges have to deal with.
Right. There's somebody blogging in. And
yeah.
Yeah, and what they're saying is a lot of guys that leave home to blow off some steam, they can't go fishing anymore. They don't have anything to do. They're at home worried about, how they're going to pay the bills. They got kids to clothe and feed.
I got the solution. I've got maritime attorney Arlen Bro on the line, and I guess we're going to see if this guy, our blogger, thank you, blogger, for bringing that comment. A lot of guys that go to blow off steam, by going fishing, can't do that no more. So the concern is, will spousal abuse be on the rise?
Right,
and
depression.
let's get maritime attorney Arlen Bro and see what he says about that. Hello, Arlen.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, good. It's good to hear from you.
Good. Yeah, it's a good topic you've got. There's some good questions Carmen was asking about your relationship with the judges and things, and I was thinking about that not too long ago about whether or not it's always been a a point of contention in Louisiana as to whether or not we should elect judges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, it's sort of like, I've heard the analogy, I think Jerry Spence said the analogy of, a couple of football teams. Say that the Jets are going to play the 49ers, so the East Coast, West Coast team, and the Jets say, yeah, just come on over, and I tell you what, don't worry about the referees. We're going to pay for them. We'll supply the referees for the game. I mean, nobody would put up with that, but we put up with it every day in our courts. You could be facing a lawyer that's a hometown lawyer that has given that judge $5,000 of the maximum every time they run.
Good point.
And put up, had a party for them, done all these things, and then you got somebody from out of town, coming in cold. I mean, it's really not a level playing field. I think that the judges do a good job of ignoring that sometimes, and we've got some really good judges who can't ignore that, but it's hard. I mean, how do you do that?
Well, in ancient Greece, I understand the custom was that both sides would pay a bribe to the judge. But as a matter of honor and dignity, the judge would never reveal which side had given him more money, so you would never know whether the decision was based on the money or the judge's real beliefs.
Right. I mean, what are your rights, like when you go to court and say you don't like the judgment, you can't afford the appeals process, So, I mean, if you feel like you've really been wronged, and can you make a complaint?
Oh, yeah, what they've got, just like for the Bar Association for Lawyers, you can complain to the Judiciary Commission. They do, yeah, of course. They got that for judges.
Yeah, and you can get somewhere with that sometimes, too. But, I've always liked to go because I have, being having a maritime practice, you don't have a luxury of being in one spot all the time. I mean, I'll be in St. Mary Parish, St. John Parish,
right,
St. Charles, Lafourche, Terrebonne, and then even up in St. Tammany. And so I like to go to federal court because there you have an appointed judge that's appointed for a lifetime, and they can care less. And, the relationship you build with the judges, even in state court, I think, that Carmen was talking about, is, I think, based on credibility. Do you do your work on time, and do you show up prepared? And I've had judges tell me that, they have lunch together and they talk, and they'll tell each other just, oh God, we had this complete moron lawyer in our court earlier, and then they go, oh well, and so you can ruin your reputation. You've got to go in there prepared, and when you do, all of a sudden they start listening to you more. You've got credibility in that court, and so it's very important, I think, to build a good relationship. Just be credible, be on time, make your deadlines, and make sure that you don't go in there trying to tell them something that's not true. And a lot of lawyers do that. They come in and they try to say things or make an argument that really doesn't make sense. And I guess they, maybe when they're younger, they think the judge is stupid or something. But really, the judge, you see right through it, and you lose credibility with them.
Well, Arlen, I've got this week they've got us hooked up with the bloggers for WBOK, and one of our bloggers that's blogged into the show, he's saying a lot of guys leave home to blow off steam, to go by going fishing, and because of the oil spill, they won't be able to go fishing anymore. And he thinks this may cause spousal abuse to be on the rise as guys are kind of penned in and can't go out and enjoy the waters. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that it's probably true, and but the thing you're going to have are a lot of battered husbands too, because they count on them to get out of the house. And so if they're not getting out of the house, I think that the wives are going to beat them.
So be careful, huh?
That's right.
So yeah, well, this blogger actually says spousal abuse. He doesn't actually say, whether he's the victim or the perpetrator. Okay.
Right. Well, right. Yeah, but I mean, that's just pointing in the direction of depression, because these guys, they don't know what they're going to do, and I mean, they really need to get some help, I guess. If they feel that they're going to, get violent, if they're beginning to, just anything will set them off, they need to seek mental help.